In this problem, tan theta is given as 4 by 5. We have to find the value of 5 sin theta minus 3 cos theta upon sin theta plus 2 cos theta. Okay. So can I write this term as 5 tan theta minus 3 upon tan theta plus 2? How I did this? I just divided the numerator as well as denominator with cos theta. Okay. Now we already know the value of tan theta. So this is 4 by 5. 5 into 4 by 5 minus 3. 4 by 5 plus 2. Once you take the LCM, you will get 20 minus 15 upon 4 plus 10. So this value will be 5 by 14. So the answer for this problem will be 5 by 14, which is option D. In this problem, we have to find the value of sin theta and tan theta if cos theta is given as minus 12 by 13. Now theta is in third quadrant. It is also given that theta is in third quadrant, and we already know that in first quadrant all t ratios are positive. In second quadrant sin and its reciprocal, in third quadrant tan and its reciprocal, which is cot, and in fourth quadrant cos and its reciprocal. So ASTC, we already know that. Okay, now let's first try to find out the value of sin and tan. So if I take a right angle triangle, the base is 12 and hypotenuse is 13, so perpendicular will come out to be 5 using Pythagoras theorem. Okay, now sin theta is negative in third quadrant and tan theta is positive. So sin theta will be perpendicular by base, perpendicular by hypotenuse, which will be minus 5 by 13 because theta is in third quadrant, and tan theta will be equal to positive value, which is 5 by 12, which is perpendicular by base. So the value of sin theta is minus 5 by 13 and tan theta is 5 by 12, and hence the answer of this problem is option A. In this problem, secant theta is given as root 2. Okay, this implies cos theta will be equal to 1 by root 2 because secant theta is 1 by cos theta. Now you cannot say theta is equal to pi by 4 because theta is lying between 3 pi by 2 to 2 pi. Okay, so 3 pi by 2 is 270 degree, 2 pi is 360 degree. So it means theta is lying in the fourth quadrant. Is this clear now? Theta is in fourth quadrant. Okay, so the value of theta you need not to find right now, but you can easily say it will be 2 pi minus pi by 4 because it is in fourth quadrant, and at pi by 4 only we will get the values as 1 by root 2 and minus 1 by root 2. So it is not required, but still if you want to calculate theta, you can write 2 pi minus pi by 4. It will be 7 pi by 4. Okay, now the important thing is we need to find the value of tan theta, cosecant theta and cot theta, which are required in this particular problem. So because cos theta is 1 by root 2, so you can draw a triangle with the base as 1 unit and the hypotenuse as root 2 unit. Okay, so the perpendicular side will come out to be under root of 2 minus 1 using Pythagoras. It will be 1. So we can say that tan theta will be equal to minus 1 by 1, which is minus 1. Why I have taken negative? Because tan theta is negative in fourth quadrant. Okay, sin theta is also negative in fourth quadrant. It will be minus 1 by root 2. Okay, so let's try to now put the values. We have to calculate the value of 1 plus tan theta plus cosecant theta divided by 1 plus cot theta minus cosecant theta. Okay, we have to find this value, 1 plus tan theta plus cosecant theta, 1 plus cot theta minus cosecant theta. So we have value of tan theta is minus 1, cosecant theta will be minus root 2, which is reciprocal of sin theta. Cot theta will again be minus 1 because it is reciprocal of tan theta, minus of minus root 2. Okay, so 1 and 1 will cancel out. We will be left with minus root 2 divided by root 2. So the answer of this problem is minus 1. Okay, and hence the answer of this problem is option A. In a circle of diameter 40 centimeter, it means radius of the circle is 20 centimeter. The length of the chord is 20 centimeter. Okay, find the length of the minor arc corresponding to that chord. Okay, so let's say we have these 2 points A and B, and this chord length is 20 units, and say center is O, and the radius is also 20 units. Okay, so all these values are 20. We have to find the length of the minor arc, so we have to find this length AB. Okay, so I already told you a formula that L is equal to R theta, where L is the arc length, okay, R is the radius, and theta is the value of the angle subtended by the arc at the center in radians. Okay, theta is in radians. So because you already know this triangle OAB is an now equilateral triangle, so this angle will be 60 degrees. So we can easily write L is equal to R is 20 units, 20 centimeter, yeah, 20 centimeter, and theta is in radians, which will be pi by 3. Is this clear? So the length of the arc will be 20 pi by 3 centimeters. So let's see which option it is. 20 pi by 3 is option B, and hence the answer of this problem is option B. Always remember that in the formula L is equal to R theta, L is the length of the arc, R is the radius of the circle, and theta is the angle subtended by the chord or the minor arc or the major arc, whatever arc it is. The theta is the angle subtended by that arc at the center in terms of radians only. The units of the theta should be radians. Okay. In this problem, we have to find the radian measure of this angle. So let's consider this angle as theta, which is minus 37 degree 30 minutes. We have to convert this into radians. Okay. Now you already know that 1 degree is equal to 60 minutes. Okay. So half degree will be equals to 30 minutes. So we can write this theta as minus of 37 degree plus half degrees. So this term will be written as minus of 37.5 degrees. Now we have to convert this into radians. We already know that 180 degrees is equal to pi radians. Okay, so 1 degree will be equal to pi by 180 radians. So 37.5 degrees with the negative sign will be equal to minus of pi by 180 into 37.5 can be written as 375 by 10 radians. Okay, so let's try to find out this value. So minus pi, let's simplify. So you can cancel this term with 5. 5 7s are 35 and 75. You can cancel this term with 5 3s are 15, 36. Okay, so now you have with 5 2 again, this will be 15, with 3 it will be 5, and with 3 it will be 12. So the final final answer will be for us is minus 5 pi divided by 24 radians. So the answer for this problem will be minus 5 pi divided by 24, which is option A. I hope it is clear. If the angles of a triangle are in the ratio 3:4:5, then we have to find the smallest angle in degrees and greatest angle in radians. So let's consider the angles as 3x, 4x, 5x because they are in ratio 3:4:5. You already know the sum of these angles will be 180 degree by angle sum property. Okay, so we will have 12x is equal to 180 degrees, and hence we will get x as 15 degrees. Is it clear? Because 12 into 15 is 180 degrees. Okay, so we will have all three angles as 45 degrees and 60 degrees and 75 degrees respectively. Okay, so the smallest angle is 45 degrees. Okay, so the smallest angle is 45 degree. Now let's move on to the greatest angle, which is 75 degrees. Now we have to find it in radians. We already know that pi radians is 180 degrees. Okay, so we'll just write this as pi radians is equal to 180 degrees. So 75 degrees will be how much? Pi by 180 into 75. Okay, so 15 5s is 75, 15 1 and 2. Okay, so 75 degrees is equal to 5 pi by 12 radians. Okay, 5 pi by 12 radians. So the answer of the smallest angle is 45 degrees and the greatest angle is 5 pi by 12, which is option C, and hence the answer of this problem is option C. In this problem we have to find the value of sine of 315 degrees. Okay, so can I write this term as sine of 360 degrees minus 45 degrees? Okay, so this can be written as sine of 2 pi radians minus pi by 4 because pi radians is 180 degree. Okay, now 2 pi minus pi by 4 because 2 pi is even multiple of pi by 2, so it won't change. Sine will remain sine as pi by 4. Now you have to see whether plus will come or minus will come. Now we already know that all sine, tan, cos in fourth quadrant, cos is only positive. So output of sine will be negative. Okay, so the answer of this problem will be minus 1 by root 2, which is option B, and hence the answer of this problem is option B. In this problem, we have to find the value of cos of 510 degrees into cos of 330 degrees plus sine of 390 degrees into cos of 120 degrees. Okay. So can I write cos of 510 degrees as 540 minus 30 degrees? Okay. Cos of 330 as 360 minus 30 degrees. Okay. It is in degrees only. Plus sine of 360 plus 30 degrees into cos of 90 plus 30 degrees. Okay. Is this clear now? Okay, now cos of 540 can be written as cos of 3 into 180. So 3 pi minus pi by 6. Cos of 2 pi minus pi by 6 plus sine of 2 pi plus pi by 6 into cos of pi by 2 plus pi by 6. Okay, now cos of 3 pi. Now let's draw the quadrant first. We already know that 0, 2 pi, 4 pi, even pi comes on the line 0 only, at the angle 0 only, and odd pi, pi, 3 pi, 5 pi, minus 3 pi comes on the line, this line on 180 degrees, okay, on this angle at 180 degrees, okay. So 3 pi minus pi by 6 will be in the second quadrant. So we already know all sine, tan, cos. So in the second quadrant, output of cos will be negative. So it will be minus cos pi by 6. Cos of 2 pi minus pi by 6 is, this is in fourth quadrant, so where cos is positive, so it will be cos pi by 6. Is this clear? Plus sine of 2 pi plus pi by 6 will be in the first quadrant, because 2 pi is on this line at 0, and 2 pi plus pi by 6 will come in first quadrant where sine is positive, so it will be sine pi by 6. Okay, and it is even multiple of pi by 2 also. This 3 pi is 6 into pi by 2. 2 pi is 4 into pi by 2. 2 pi is 4 into pi by 2. So sine will remain in sine. Cos will remain in cos in these cases. Here cos of pi by 2, it is 1 into pi by 2. So odd multiple, it will change into sine, and it is in second quadrant. So you have to see the output of cos. So in second quadrant, sine is positive, but cos is negative. So it will be minus sine pi by 6. Okay, so let's simplify this thing. Cos 30 is root 3 by 2, which is sine 60 only, root 3 by 2, plus sine 30 is half, and cos minus sine 30 is minus half. Okay, so this value will be equal to minus 3 by 4 minus 1 by 4, which is minus 4 by 4, and the answer for this problem will be minus 1, and hence the answer is option B for this problem. In this problem, we have to simplify this term. Cosecant of 2 pi plus theta, you already know that 2 pi comes on the line in the direction of 0 only, 0, 2 pi, 4 pi, and odd pi comes here on the line 180 degrees, pi, 3 pi, 5 pi, and so on. So 2 pi plus theta will come in first quadrant, so it will be cosecant theta because it is even multiple of pi by 2. Cos of 2 pi plus theta will also come in first quadrant, so it will be cos theta. Tan of pi by 2 comes on this line, so first, second, third, fourth. So pi by 2 plus theta will come in second quadrant, and we already know that this term will be odd multiple of pi by 2, so it will come cot theta with the negative sign. Why negative? Because only sine and cosecant are positive in second quadrant. Secant of pi by 2 plus theta, second quadrant, secant output will be negative. Okay, so it will become cosecant theta with the negative sign. Cos theta is already there, and now cot of pi plus theta will come in third quadrant, and it is even multiple of pi by 2 because you can write it as pi as 2 into pi by 2, so it will be cot theta only. Now if you see, all the terms are getting cancelled with each other, cosecant theta with cosecant theta, cos theta with cos theta, cot theta with cot theta, and negative will cancel out with minus sign, and the answer for this problem will be 1, which is option D. In this problem, we have to find the value of sine 10 degrees plus sine 20 degrees plus sine 30 degrees, so on to sine 360 degrees. Okay, so can we write this term as sine 10 degrees plus sine 20 degrees plus sine 30 degrees? Okay, total there are 36 terms. If you see 10, 20, 30, so on to 360. So there will be sine 170, then there will be sine 180 degrees. Okay, then I am writing sine 190 degrees below this term. Okay, similarly, before this you will be having sine of 160 degrees, and here you will be having sine of 200 degrees. Okay, similarly, if you keep on writing, we will be writing sine 350 degrees below 10 degrees, sine of 340 degrees, and so on, and the last term will be sine of 360 degrees. I hope you are clear on this term, how I wrote this total term like this. So I have written in the first row, I have written sine 10, sine 20, sine 30, so on to sine 180. Then I have shifted 190, I have written below 170, and sine 350 is below 10 degrees, and sine 360 we have written separately. Okay, so we have to find the sum of all these terms. So if you see, the sum of angles of these two terms is 360 degree. Similarly, sum of angles of these two terms is 360 degree, and sum of angle of these two terms is also 360 degrees. So if I write sine of 350 degrees as sine of 360 minus 10 degrees, you will come to know it is same as sine of 2 pi minus 10 degrees. Okay, so it is in fourth quadrant, so this value will be minus of sine 10 degrees. Similarly, if I'll write sine of 340 degrees, I can write this term as sine of 360 minus 20 degrees. I hope you are getting what I am saying. Sine of 2 pi minus 20 degrees. So this will again be minus sine 20 degrees. So you will get to know that we will, all these terms, sine 10 will cancel out with 350, 20 will cancel out with 340, 170 will cancel out with sine 190. Okay, so we are now only left with two terms, which is sine 180 degrees and sine of 360 degrees. Sine of 180 degrees is also 0, sine of 360 degrees is also 0. So the final answer of this problem is 0, which is option A. In this problem, we have to simplify this expression. So let's try. Tan of x minus pi by 2 can be written as pi by 2 minus x with a negative sign. Okay, we can take the negative outside because tan of minus theta is minus tan theta. Okay, so this term will be minus of, this is in the first quadrant, so odd multiple of pi by 2, so this term will be minus cot x. Okay, now moving on to the next term, which is cos of 3 pi by 2 plus x. Okay, now 3 pi by 2 will come in the fourth quadrant, pi 3 pi by 2, so 3 pi by 2 will come in fourth quadrant where the cos is positive because it is odd multiple of pi by 2, so the output will be sin x. Okay, sine of 7 pi by 2 minus x. Okay, now 7 pi by 2 is at which point? 7, now you already know 3 pi is on this line on 180, so 3 pi plus pi by 2 is 7 pi by 2, so it is again at this point, this line only. So 7 pi by 2 minus x will be in third quadrant, sign is negative there, and 7 is odd multiple of pi by 2, 7 pi by 2, so it will be minus of cos x. Okay, now cos of x minus pi by 2, because we already know cos of minus theta is cos theta, so you can write cos of x minus pi by 2 as cos of pi by 2 minus x, and this is same as in the first quadrant, it will be sin x. Okay, now tan of 3 pi by 2 plus x, 3 pi by 2 plus x will be in the fourth quadrant. Okay, so tan will change in cot x with a negative sign. Now let's try to put values. So this term will become tan of x minus pi by 2 we have written as minus cot x, so first term will become minus cot x into, the next term was cos of 3 pi by 2 plus x, which is sin x, so into sin x. Okay, now the next term is minus of this term, minus of this term's cube, minus cos x whole cube will be plus cos cube x. Is this clear? Divided by cos of x minus pi by 2 is sin x, and we have a term which is multiplied, which is minus cot x. Okay, now let's simplify this term. Now cot x can be written as minus of cos x by sin x into sin x plus cos cube x divided by minus cos x by sin x into sin x. Okay, so sin x and sin x will cancel out with each other in the numerator as well as denominator. So now you are left with cos x, you can take common, you will be left with cos square x minus 1, and we have a negative cos x in the denominator also. So we will be left with 1 minus cos square x, which is sin square x. So let's see whether this is in the option or not. So sin square x is in the option, which is option B, and hence the answer of this problem is option B. In this problem, we have to find the exact value of cos square 73 degrees plus cos square 47 degrees minus sin square 43 degrees plus sin square 107 degrees. Okay, so cos square 73 degrees, let's keep this term like this only. We already know that cos of, I'll just write it here, cos of 90 minus theta is same as sin theta. Okay, and sin of 90 minus theta is same as cos theta. So we can write cos square 47 as sine of 90 minus 47, because sine of 90 minus theta is cos theta. So 90 minus theta is cos theta only. Okay, all these terms are in degrees. Minus sine square 43 degrees, let's keep it like this only. And sine of 107 degrees, we can write this as 180 degrees minus 107 degrees. Why we can write sine of 107 degrees? Because sine 107 degrees as 180 minus 107 degrees, because sine of 180 minus theta is same as sine theta. Because sine of pi minus theta will come in second quadrant, and sine of pi minus theta will give us sine theta only. Okay. So now this term is same as cos square 73 degrees. Okay. This term is same as sine square 43 degrees minus sine square 43 degrees, plus this term is same as sine square 73 degrees. So these two terms will cancel out. Sine square 73 plus cos square 73 degrees will be 1. Okay. So the answer of this problem is C. If two legs of right angle triangle are sine theta and sine of 3 pi by 2 minus theta and cos theta minus cos 3 pi by 2 minus theta, we have to find the length of its hypotenuse. Okay. So let's say we have this perpendicular as A and base as B and hypotenuse as H. So we have two legs as A and B. So A, let's consider A as sine theta plus sine of 3 pi by 2 minus theta. Okay, so this value can be written as sine theta. Now 3 pi by 2 is 0, pi by 2, pi, 3 pi by 2. 3 pi by 2 is 270 degrees. So 3 pi by 2 minus theta will be in third quadrant, and we have all sine, tan, cos. So in third quadrant sine is negative. So this value will be minus cos theta, because it is a odd multiple of pi by 2. So first it will change in cos, then you will put the sine, and sine SINE is negative in third quadrant. Okay, so it will be minus cos theta. So B is cos theta minus cos of 3 pi by 2 minus theta. Okay, now we can write cos of 3 pi by 2 is 3 pi by 2 minus theta, again will be in third quadrant. So it will be cos theta and it will open up in negative. So odd multiple of pi by 2 will change the cos and sine. So it will be cos theta plus sine theta. Now we have to find the hypotenuse. We already know hypotenuse is under root of a square plus b square. So hypotenuse will be under root of a square is sine square theta plus cos square theta minus 2 sine theta cos theta, and b square is cos square theta plus sine square theta plus 2 sine theta cos theta. Now if you see, these two terms will cancel out. Sine square theta plus cos square theta is 1. 1 plus 1 will be equal to 2. So the answer for this problem is root 2, which is option B. Okay, so the answer of this problem is root 2, which is option B. In this problem, tan theta is given as under root of a by b. Okay, and we have to find the value of sine theta secant 7 theta, secant theta raised to the power 7, plus cos theta cosecant theta raised to the power 7. Okay, so let's try to first simplify this term. This is let's consider it as I. So we have I equal to sine theta divided by cos 7 theta plus cos theta divided by sine raised to the power 7 theta. Okay, so we have the term now sine of 8 theta plus cos of 8 theta divided by sine 7 theta cos 7 theta. Okay, I have simplified this term in terms of sine and cos now. Now what we can do is, we know that tan theta is under root a by b. So we'll consider a triangle with perpendicular as root a and base as root b. So this is theta. So our hypotenuse will come under root of root a square plus root b square, which will be a plus b. Okay, so we will now have sine theta as under root a upon under root of a plus b raised to the power 8. Cos theta will be root b upon under root of a plus b raised to the power 8 divided by sine theta raised to the power 7 and cos theta raised to the power 7, which will be root a upon root a plus b raised to the power 7 into root b upon root a plus b raised to the power 7. Okay, so finally we will now we need to simplify this term. We will be getting a raised to the power 4 plus b raised to the power 4 divided by a plus b raised to the power 4. Okay, multiplied with the term a raised to the power 7 by 2, b raised to the power 7 by 2, and in the denominator of this term we will be having a plus b raised to the power 7. I hope this is clear, because under root of a plus b into under root of a plus b, will give us a plus b and whole raised to the power 7 is there. So if I write x raised to the power 7 into y raised to the power 7, this can be written as xy raised to the power 7. So these two will multiply whole raised to the power 7. Okay, now we will have the term a raised to the power 4 plus b raised to the power 4 into a plus b raised to the power 3 divided by a raised to the power 7 by 2 into b raised to the power 7 by 2. So let's see which option it is given. So we have a plus b raised to the power 3 and a4. So it is option A already. You can match it. A raised to the power 4 plus b raised to the power 4 into a plus b raised to the power 3 divided by ab raised to the power 7 by 2. Hence the answer of this problem is option A. In this problem, an equilateral triangle is given and we have to find the area of this triangle ABC. Okay, there are three coins which are kept inside this triangle. They are touching each other also, and they are also touching the two sides of the triangle. Okay, and the radius of each circle is 1 unit or each coin. Okay, so let's try to find out with the help of trigonometry. So because these circles are touching each other, let's draw the line joining the centers. They will pass through this point also, which is the point of contact of these two circles. Once you join, because this line is tangent, once you join this point with say D point here, it will be perpendicular. C1D is perpendicular to BC. Similarly, C2E is also perpendicular to BC. Okay, now if I construct one perpendicular on the AB line from C1, it will also touch at the point of contact of the circle and the tangent. Okay, so let's consider this point as F, and let's join BC1. So if you see now these two triangles, C1FB and C1DB, triangles C1FB and triangle C1DB, both of these triangles are congruent. Okay, why these triangles are congruent? Because we have one angle 90 degree here. Okay, hypotenuse is common between these two, and these two C1F and C1D are both 1 unit, they are radius. Okay, so using RHS, these two triangles will be congruent. So we can say that if this angle is alpha, so this angle will also be alpha. Okay, and because we know that ABC is an equilateral triangle, so we'll easily come to know that angle alpha will be equal to 30 degrees. So is it clear now? We have a radius, say C1P. C1P is radius only. This is 1 unit and this is 1 unit. Because C1, C2, ED is a rectangle, so DE will be of 2 units. Okay, now in triangle C1BD, if you see carefully, C1BD, this C1D is 1 unit and this angle alpha is 30 degrees. So can I write 1 divided by BD will be equal to tan 30 using trigonometry, because perpendicular by base is tan theta. Okay, so 1 by BD is equal to tan 30, which is 1 by root 3. So the value of BD will be equal to root 3. Okay, so you got the value of BD as root 3 units. Okay, similarly, if you construct here C2, you will join and construct a perpendicular again, you will able to calculate the value of CE as root 3. So we will have a side length BC, which will be root 3 plus 2 plus root 3, which will be equal to 2 times of root 3 plus 1. Is this clear? Now we have to find the area of the triangle ABC. So area of equilateral triangle ABC will be equal to root 3 by 4 times of side whole square. So which will be 4 times of root 3 plus 1 whole square. Okay, side square you have taken. So 4 and 4 will cancel out. So you will be left with a plus b whole raised to the power 2 is a square plus b square plus 2ab. Okay, so we have now root 3 times of 4 plus 2 root 3. Okay, so you can take 2 again common. So 2 root 3, you are left with 2 plus root 3. So let's see which option it is for the area of the triangle. We have to just 4 root 3 plus 6. So if you multiply these two terms, we will have 4 root 3 plus 6, which is option B. So the answer of this problem is option B. In this problem, it is given that sin x raised to the power 4 divided by 2 plus cos x raised to the power 4 divided by 3 is 1 by 5, and we have to find the value of tan square x first, and then we have to find the value of sin x raised to the power 8 divided by 8 plus cos x raised to the power 8 divided by 27. Okay, because there are two options given for tan square x, and there are two options given for this expression also. So it is a multiple correct problem type, and it was also asked previously in JEE. So let's try to solve it. I'll just convert this term into sin x only. So we have sin 4x divided by 2 cos square x. I can write this term as 1 minus sin square x whole square, because cos square x whole square is already there, because it is cos raised to the power 4 divided by 3 is equal to 1 by 5. So I have written cos square x as 1 minus sin square x. Now if we take LCM, we will be having 3 sin 4x plus 2 times of sin 4x minus 2 sin square x plus 1 is equal to 6 divided by 5. Is this clear? Okay, so let's simplify this term. 3 sin 4x plus 2 sin 4x will be 5 sin 4x. So 5, this 5 will cross multiply also. So it will be 5 times of 5 sin 4x. Okay, minus, you can write 2 into 2 is 4 sin square x plus 2 is equal to 6. Okay, I have just cross multiplied this 5 on the left hand side. So we will now have 25 sin 4x minus 20 sin square x plus 10 minus 6 will be plus 4 is equal to 0. Now are you clear on this term? Now if you see, this term can be written as 25 into 4 can be written as 110 into 10, and sum of 10 and 10 is 20. So this term is basically perfect square term. You can write this as 5 sin square x minus 2 raised to the power whole square is equal to 0, because a minus b whole square is 5 sin square x will be 25 sin 4x plus 4 minus 2 into 5 will be 20. Okay, so you now have the value that sin square x 5 sin square x minus 2 will be equal to 0, because if a square is equal to 0 and a is a real number, then definitely a will be equal to 0. So we will have the value of sin square x as 2 by 5. Now if you have value of sin square x as 2 by 5, cos square x will be 1 minus sin square x, so it will have a value of 3 by 5. Okay, so we have sin square 2 by 5 and cos square as 3 by 5. So tan square x will be, we have to find the value of tan square x. So tan square x will be 2 by 5 divided by 3 by 5. So value will be 2 by 3, and hence the option A is correct, 2 by 3. Now we have to find the value of sin raised to the power 8x divided by 8 plus cos raised to the power 8x divided by 27. Okay, we have to find the value of this term. So we will now put the value of sin square x. So it will be 1 by 8 into 2 raised to the power 4 divided by 5 raised to the power 4. Are you clear on this? Because sin square x is 2 by 5. So sin square x whole raised to the power 4 will be 2 raised to the power 4 divided by 5 raised to the power 4, which is sin x raised to the power 8 plus 1 divided by 27 into this value will be 3 raised to the power 4 divided by 5 raised to the power 4. Now can we write this term as 2 raised to the power 4 will cancel 8 and 2 will be left, 3 raised to the power 4 will cancel 27 and 3 will be left. So you will be left with 2 divided by 5 raised to the power 4, 3 divided by 5 raised to the power 4. So it will be 5 divided by 5 raised to the power 4, 1 by 5 cube. So the answer for this term will be 1 by 125. So let's see which option it is. It is option B. So the answer for this problem will be option A and B. I hope it is clear. In this problem, 2 sin alpha upon 1 plus sin alpha plus cos alpha is given as lambda, and we have to find the term 1 plus sin alpha minus cos alpha divided by 1 plus sin alpha in terms of lambda. So let's try to simplify the required term only. 1 plus sin alpha minus cos alpha upon 1 plus sin alpha, because in the term lambda 1 plus sin alpha plus cos alpha is in the denominator. So let's multiply this term with 1 plus sin alpha plus cos alpha in the numerator as well as in the denominator. Okay, now the good thing about this problem is that you have now this term 1 plus sin alpha minus cos alpha. Here you have 1 plus sin alpha plus cos alpha. So if you treat this term as A and this term as B, so you will have A plus B into A minus B. So you will get 1 plus sin alpha whole square is A plus B into A minus B is A square minus B square minus cos square alpha whole divided by 1 plus sin alpha into 1 plus sin alpha plus cos alpha. Okay. Now let's simplify it further. 1 plus sin alpha whole square can be written as 1 plus sin square alpha plus 2 sin alpha minus cos square alpha divided by 1 plus sin alpha into 1 plus sine alpha plus cos alpha. Is this clear? Now you can write this 1 minus cos square alpha as sine square alpha. So you will be having 2 sine square alpha plus 2 sine alpha, which you can write it as 2 sine alpha. You can take common. You will be left with sine alpha plus 1 divided by 1 plus sine alpha into 1 plus sine alpha plus cos alpha. Are you clear on this term? So 1 plus sine alpha will cancel out and you will be left with the term 2 sine alpha upon 1 plus sine alpha plus cos alpha. Okay, so let's see, this is actually given as lambda. Okay, so the required term will be equal to lambda only. So the answer for this problem is option B. If ABCD is a cyclic quadrilateral such that tan of A is equal to 5 by 12 and cos of B is equal to minus 3 by 5, then the quadratic equation whose roots are cos C and tan D. So basically we have to find the value of cos C and tan D. So these will be the roots of which equation? We will find out after that. Okay. Now you already know that in a cyclic quadrilateral, A plus, if we have a cyclic quadrilateral say like this, ABCD, so the sum of opposite angles is 180 degrees. So A plus C will be equal to pi also, and B plus D will also be equal to pi. Cyclic quadrilateral has one more property, that all the 4 points will lie on a circle. Okay. So from tan A you can easily calculate the value of tan C. How you will calculate the value of tan C? Because tan A is 5 by 12. So you can write now this term as tan of pi minus C, because A plus C is pi, so you can write A as pi minus C. This will be equal to 5 by 12. So this will be minus of tan C, which will be equal to 5 by 12. So the value of tan C will be equal to minus 5 by 12. I hope it is clear. Now with B plus D is equal to pi, we can calculate the value of cos D. Cos B is equal to minus 3 by 5. You can write cos of pi minus D is equal to minus 3 by 5. So the value of cos minus cos D, because pi minus D is in second quadrant, so minus cos D is minus 3 by 5. So cos D will be equal to 3 by 5. Okay, now we have to find the value of cos C and tan D. From here it is obvious that C will be in the second quadrant, because C can lie between 0 to pi, means angle C can have value from 0 to 180 degree, because it is inside a circle. Okay, and it is either in the major arc or in the minor arc. So C can have a value from 0 to pi. So we are clear on this thing, that C will lie from pi by 2 to pi, because tan is negative in the second quadrant. So if tan is negative in second quadrant, cos C will also be negative, and we can find this using angle C only. This is 5 and this is 12. So by Pythagoras, the hypotenuse will be 13. So the value of cos C will be minus 12 by 13. Are you clear on this thing? Cos D is 3 by 5. It means D is in the first quadrant only, 0 to pi by 2. Okay. If we make a triangle of cos D, we'll have this value as 3, this value as 5. So the perpendicular will be 4, and we will have sin D as 4 by 5. Are you clear on this thing also? What we have to find is tan D. Okay, so tan D will be equal to 4 by 3, because it is also in the first quadrant, so it will be positive. So now we have one root of the quadratic equation as minus 12 by 13 and the other root as 4 by 3. Okay. Now for finding the quadratic equation, let's find the sum first. Sum will be alpha plus beta, which will be minus 12 by 13 plus 4 by 3. So this value will be minus 36 plus 52 divided by 39, and this will give us 16 by 39. And product will be alpha beta, which will be minus 12 by 13 into 4 by 3, which will give us minus 48 by 39. So the quadratic equation will be xk minus sx plus p equal to 0. You also know this thing. So the equation will be xk minus 16 by 39x minus 48 by 39 is equal to 0. So the final answer for this problem will be 39x square minus 16x minus 48 equal to 0. So let's see which option it is. 39x square minus 16x minus 48, which is option A, and hence the answer of this problem is option A. In this problem, we are provided with secant theta plus tan theta, which is given as P. and we have to find the value of sine theta. Okay, so secant theta plus tan theta, if it is p, we will have secant theta minus tan theta as 1 by p. Why? Because we know that secant square theta minus tan square theta is 1, which is an identity. So I can write this term as secant theta minus tan theta into secant theta plus tan theta is equal to 1. Okay, so we already know the value of secant theta plus tan theta. So secant theta minus tan theta will be equal to 1 divided by secant theta plus tan theta, which is 1 by p. Okay, now if we add these two terms, we will get 2 secant theta is equal to p plus 1 by p. Okay, so secant theta will have the value as p square plus 1 divided by 2p. Is this okay? Now if we subtract these two terms, we will get 2 tan theta is equal to p minus 1 by p. So we will have the value of tan theta, which will be equal to p square minus 1 divided by 2p. Okay, now for sine theta, what you can do is tan theta can be written as sine theta by cos theta. Okay, so tan theta can be written as sine theta into secant theta. So sine theta will be equal to tan theta divided by secant theta. So we will have the value of sine theta as tan theta divided by secant theta, which will give us p square minus 1 upon p square plus 1. So let's see which option it is. It is option C. Okay, so we have the option C is the answer of this problem. This problem also has more than one correct options. So let's solve it. F of x is given as sin x upon under root of 1 plus tan square x plus cos x upon under root of 1 plus cot square x, and we have to find the interval of x in which this term is constant. Constant means it should not be dependent on x. Okay, so you already know that 1 plus tan square x is secant square x. So this term will open up in sin x divided by mod secant x. Is this clear? Because under root of secant square x will open up in mod secant x, because we already know the definition that under root of x square open up in mod x. Now 1 plus cot square x is cosecant square x, so this term will open up in mod cosecant x. We have to find out the interval in which this term will be constant. So can I write this term as sin x mod cos x, because secant x can be written as 1 by cos x plus cos x mod sin x. Okay, so we need to check in which interval this term will be constant. Okay, so the intervals are given as first quadrant, this is first quadrant, this is second quadrant, this is third quadrant, and this is fourth quadrant. So now let's check in first quadrant first. In the first quadrant, all the terms are positive. You already know this thing. So the inside value of the mod is positive, this is also positive. So this term will become sin x cos x plus cos x sin x. So it will be 2 sin x cos x. So it is not constant because it is dependent upon x. So this won't be our answer. Now let's check second quadrant. For second quadrant, you already know that cos x will open up in negative cos x, because cos x is negative. So this mod will open up in minus cos x, and sin x is positive, so it will open up in sin x. So this term will be 0. So second quadrant will be in the answer. Okay, now let's move on to third quadrant. So in third quadrant, sin and cos both will be negative. So it will open up as sin x cos x with negative sign minus cos x sin x with negative sign. So it will be minus 2 sin x cos x, which is again dependent on x, so it won't be answer. In fourth quadrant, you already know that cos x will be positive, so it will open up in plus cos x, and sin x will be negative, so it will open up in minus sin x. So in the fourth quadrant, mod cos x will open up in cos x, and sin x will open up in minus sin x. So this term will be sin x cos x minus sin x cos x, sin x cos x minus sin x cos x, so it will cancel out and give us value 0. So this second quadrant and fourth quadrant will be in our answer. Okay, so second quadrant and fourth quadrant. So the answer for this problem will be option B and D. I hope it is clear.